Perhaps you've been in an accident and you're wondering, you know, which attorney should I pick? And how are they paid? Is it hourly? Is it on a contingency fee? How does it work? That's a legit question. Jim Desmond is here from Desmond Law Office, and I love when Jim comes in.
Hey,
I just mentioned to the folks, Chapman Heating and Cooling, I love their commercials. You do a good job too, man. Do you enjoy doing that?
I do, because it's straightforward. I hate to say that. I'm a little, anybody who's seen your interviews before, they're like, he picks on other TV advertisers, but there's a lot of nonsense out there, and we try not to do that. We say, hey, look, just, you know, you can reach us directly. You've been in an accident, you have questions, you know, we're just to be straightforward. So, and the latest round is a bunch of clients who came up and did testimonials, and I was thrilled about that. They didn't mind at all. They took a morning to do it.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And to get someone, like you said, especially this day and age, to take the time to say, I'm going to talk about you, not my business, they must have been really happy with the job you did.
Yeah, they're good people, and they've been clients, actually, most of them from more than one accident, and their family and friends in more than 1 year. So it's been, you know, I can't complain. I've got a good business. I got a good life.
Good for you.
I am tough on all the other attorneys, but I've been doing this 25 years, so I'm like, let's do it a little differently, guys. Let's not just be using silly words and promises and slogans. Let's make it, you know, happen. Let's educate the audience.
Well, I think a big part of the reason they're happy with you, you're accessible. That's important to you. It's like, no matter what, you'll pick up the call. If you're on vacation, you'll pick up the phone, right?
Yeah. And well, one of the clients was commented, as a matter of fact, I had forgotten. He came to me because he got me on Memorial Day, and he couldn't reach anybody else, and he was freaked out because that was when his accident happened. And I'm like, well, that's okay. I don't mind. It took me an hour. I'd, you know, go up there. Actually, ironically, I had to think back for a second. I was trying to get an old car started. I didn't succeed. So all it did is save me a little more frustration. But it's, you know, no, I mean, you want to be accessible because, again, if you've been in a car wreck, you don't know what's going on. And it doesn't, and people, my clients and the phone calls, they're all respectful and such like that. All I do is car wrecks. So, I mean, I will get somebody off the phone kind of fast if somebody calls about medical malpractice, but I'll say, hey, call this guy. I know he's good. Just because, again, I can't take all the calls. I purposely limit my practice on that reason because, again, you know, I'm a one-man show, and I want to be able to kind of give that customer service, and you can't do that if you're doing 20 areas of the law.
Yeah, and if you're really focusing on vehicle accidents, then you know all of the people in that industry. You're very well tied. So you know what I'm saying? You're not trying to do too much. You know, everyone knows you, and they know how good you are. And I do think there's a lot to be said for, hey, if I'm in a car accident, as you said, I don't know what to do, and I don't care if you're on vacation, and you understand that. You're like, I'm accessible. Here we go. I'll talk to you. Good.
Right, and that's the other thing is, at least for a client, and especially for an attorney, again, there's many things if you can do. If you get the initial stages going, requesting records, getting insurance companies on notice, trying to get the car appraised, the damage, then, you know, we can't control how fast the insurance company goes, but at least the client sees we're responsive. We jump to it, okay? We've done everything we can. We're making phone calls to follow up. Because, again, I mean, it's our vehicle. I just got a car back, and, you know, I had it 1 month, and it was in the body shop for 2 months. It's frustrating, and I get that. People understand that. So.
All right, very relatable. Okay, now let's talk about what the topic is today, and that is, how do attorneys get paid? So is it hourly? Is it a contingency? Is it different from attorney to attorney? You know this. First of all, how do you get paid? How do you do it?
Okay, how I do it, and most personal injury attorneys will do what you call a contingency fee, which I thought everybody understood, but apparently they don't. Contingency fee means you don't owe me anything unless I recover something. So if I recover something, for like in my example, I charge 1/3 of what I recover if the case doesn't involve a lawsuit, okay? And expenses are on top of that, but they're usually small, all right? The key on that is you don't owe me anything unless I recover something. So I just signed up. I had a case for about a month. Nice lady, hit by somebody who had no insurance, didn't want to use her own insurance. We had a little bit of work into it, a little bit of case expenses, but again, she didn't owe me anything because at the end of the day, she didn't want to pursue it any farther. We couldn't get anywhere against that fault driver because they were uninsured, so we walked away from it, okay? An hourly rate, and you don't ever want to do it with personal injury, is just that. So if you go to a family law attorney and they say, okay, I'm going to charge you a $2,500 retainer and $250 an hour, they're going to charge you for every time you communicate with them, talk to them, or anything else. Now, again, they're set up a little differently. I would never do an hourly rate with personal injury, especially car wrecks, because of the fact that, you know, in the green room, I was dealing with 2 or 3 property damage issues, okay? Those cases, you know, the clients would have been $500 or $600 in the hole, you know, and we've only been handling that a week. Because, again, you're dealing with things as simple as talking to a body shop or a claims manager about, you know, rental cars.
I've had hourly attorneys before, and that was the issue. You're right. So if you talk to them for 35 minutes, they're going to round it out to an hour. It all starts adding up very quickly. So I like the contingency fee. So I like
quickly, but yeah, and if you're in a contingency fee, this is the thing. then talk to your attorney and get the communication. As I've said for years, the biggest complaint against attorneys is not malpractice, it's lack of communication. So, you know, and there's tricks to get around it. I mean, I text my clients, and so it's very quick. I send them copies of letters, and I've learned to just put FYI, Desmond, and the date. And then what I'm saying to them, I tell them ahead of time, I'm just trying to let you know you haven't heard from me this week, but all of a sudden they get a letter from State Farm, they know something's going on behind the scenes.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So, but again, if
peace of mind.
Yeah, but if they have a question, it's not hourly, so they should. If they really are saying, "Hey, I don't feel like I'm getting the answers," then call me, come in. You know, we already met 2 weeks ago. Let's do it again. It doesn't make a difference. That's, you know, because again, it's their car wreck. I'm going to go on to another claim, okay? The insurance company is going to go on to another claim, but they're the ones that are injured. They're the ones that we have to basically, you know, try to make sure they're comfortable.
Yeah, I've heard some attorneys, I'm not going to point out names here, but they'll say, you know, you don't owe us anything unless we win your case. That's been your...
For years.
Yeah, you've been doing this forever.
You remember Gary Becker? Gary Becker was a great attorney. He passed away. I worked for him for years, and as a matter of fact, I took his contract pretty much, and that's what it was in there. And that's still my same contract. And that's how any good attorney should do it, because again, you know, we don't know. I mean, you know, let's be honest. You got a lot of these TV advertisers, and I advertise on TV, so maybe I'm insulting myself. But, you know, we could just hit the ball out of the park and get a, you know, a nice 5-6-figure fee, or we could make $500 on a case. So we just don't know. So it's, again, it's one of those we'd rather have. You don't want to take that gamble either.
Yes.
Because, you know, if you've been in a car accident, it's not like the lottery that we just all had. Okay, everybody, I know everybody at noon wants to, you know, claim it is. I'll get you this. It's like, it's not that way.
I think something else that's important to you is you say, look, if I can reduce those medical bills, I can help you do that. That's important to you as well.
That's huge.
Okay,
to me, it's huge.
So talk about that. So yeah, that puts more money in their pocket, right?
Every time I come with you, I always say I'm going to sound conceited on something. I feel like,
no, please.
But that's where I'm going to, because that should be another standard for any personal injury attorney. Because again, if an attorney gets you $100,000 and they pay out $98,000 to everybody else, you did not succeed. You didn't have a good case. So again, an attorney is your attorney. So even if a medical provider gives my name out, my duty is to my client. So if he's got a $10,000 balance that wasn't paid, if I pay him the full $10,000, it's coming out of my client's settlement. On the other hand, if I say to that person, will you take 6, okay, what did I really do? Really, I passed on that portion of my attorney's fee to that medical provider because I did recover $10,000 on his behalf. And again, that puts a little more money in my client's pocket.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, a good attorney, it's not how much I get you with the right hand, it's how much I keep you out of your settlement with the left hand.
That's probably why you get so much repeat business, too, because it's more than just winning the case. Yes, I'll win the case, but I want to put more money in your pocket. I think everyone loves the sound of that. Okay, so here come the holidays. Okay. So tell me, does it get busier? I would think, because, I mean, we talk about biggest holiday travel season, you know, of the year, of ever, or whatever. It's always about travel. Increased travel means more accidents.
Increased travel, more accidents. As soon as snow happens, I mean, I love Louisville, and Kentucky in general, but let's face it.
We're not good at that.
Yeah, we think rain is snow, okay? So there's more accidents and everything else as soon as that happens. So yes, I mean, and again, that's why I let people get hold of me on the holidays. I don't mind. It's one of those situations. It doesn't take me 20 minutes to walk away from something, and my family has always been good about that. You know, but yes, we're going to have increased accidents. If you're going to go out of state, the other thing is, you know, is the insurance correct before you leave? Because that's another situation. Remember that those coverages you're buying protect you when you go out of state. So again, that's another thing I always tell my clients, you know, or even people who aren't my clients. I say, send me a copy of your insurance. I'll look it over. I'll tell you what I think you should have. Then you go talk to your agent. If you can't make it work exactly because of cost, I get that, but at least try to increase and improve.
All right. Man, you articulate it well. I feel your passion, which is also important.
I like car accidents. I'm crazy.
You want a passionate attorney. Okay, there's the information. Desmond Law Office. He is Jim Desmond. Once again, holiday season. Knock on wood. I hope you're not in an accident, but if you are, hey, this guy's going to take your call and he'll get back with you right away. Jim, thank you so much.
John, I always appreciate it. Thanks.
I really appreciate it. That was fun.